Yo, what's up guys? Jake Luke here. Have you ever wondered how you can get more organic streams to your Spotify? Well, you've come to the right place. About a month ago, a company reached out to me about some of their playlisting services, and that company is Boost Collective. They reached out to me about a month ago, like I said. They wanted me to test their playlisting services in exchange for a review. Now, I know a couple people at Boost Collective. I have a couple friends that work there, so I am somewhat familiar with the process, but they still wanted me to test this out and see if this is something that you could potentially benefit from. Now, I also wanted to say before we get started, I want to explain that their playlisting services are different than some other companies. It isn't bots and it isn't fake streams, and that's why when you look at some of the options for some of the services, when you're talking about just the playlisting services in specific, it gives you a range of streams. It doesn't specifically say you're going to get 5,000 streams to the dot, and if not, we'll give you your money back. It doesn't work like that. They can't guarantee that. How their operation works, because I've had conversations with their reps and now having seen the back end, is they run Instagram ads to their playlists. They put your songs in a playlist that they feel that fits the likes, the playlist ads, and then the other organic numbers come in as a result from that. So yeah, let's dive right into it.
I got a campaign for my song that released on May 2nd. The song is called Sit Still. I believe I purchased this. I'm gonna look at my email quick. I placed it on the 7th. Okay. And then I think they actually added me to the playlist on like the 8th or the 9th, which is important here as we're gonna look at the graphs. Now, first thing when you come into Boost Collective's site, it's nice. It's nicely organized. I like their website. It looks good. Like where you would go if you were purchasing one of these is you would go, up here in the top, and you would go to promote, and you would hit get on a playlist. You would search for a song. I just was doing an example. I use Sit Still, but I'll use Summer Night as an example to show you what it looks like, and then you would click on it, then you would hit promote selected songs, and then here's your options. They have some different options. I was given a pro campaign. I purchased it on the 7th. And if you look at streams, I want to change the filter. Okay, so this is the day that it came out. It's always a little weird. You get some on the day before, usually. I did pretty well on this song just based off Release Radar. So that's why you're seeing, I had a pretty good push coming out the gate. I had actually had a conversation with them where it might have been a better test to go off of an existing song that had been out a while. It is what it is, but it still was a good test. See, I purchased it on the 7th. I believe they added me to playlists on the 8th, and so I got I got a bump. It stayed up, and then normally though, if I'm being honest, after a week, you really see a drop off. Sometimes, and this is the reason I got into releasing every other week. When you release every week, by the time that next Friday hits, a lot of times it really drops off. And it's like really, really typical for stuff to be low on the weekends, as you can see, and then better on, Monday through Friday. It was nice to be able to have a little boost, and I think you could tell. But it still had a really good tail life, and we're still a month into it, and I'm still 1,500 streams on a Tuesday, which is pretty good. For what this was, I think, well, let me go back. So if you go to, let me look at the playlist ads, because this is a great indicator. So you can tell that, this was also, some of these were specifically from the campaign itself, that I got 80 playlist ads that day. But even then, it's like, normally I wouldn't have this many playlist ads that far out. It sort of follows your stream rate, but some of these extra bumps is like a really good indicator that it still was getting put in front of people, like further out. Another thing that I did that was like a little bit convoluted with this particular one was I did put this song, I'm just being transparent, I put this song as a waterfall release, my song that I released on the 16th. And so I think that had an effect of like how it held on and had extra life. And if you aren't familiar with what a waterfall release is, basically it's just where you take and you release a single and then however long after that, when you release that next single, then you release it as like basically like a 2-song EP. So then you have your next single and then the one that you released just before that, and then you can keep stacking them as you release them, working up to a project. Little gold nugget for you. But yeah, I think that helped breathe extra life into this. But like going back to specifically talking about the numbers just based on the pro campaign, you can see if you go look at your campaign, I don't know what you want to call this, the dashboard, my dashboard. You can see that all the playlists that they put you in. I will say it's a little bit confusing because a few of these, or there was at least one I know, the best one on my playlists. So if you see, I know this is one of their playlists because if you go look at it, this person was, or this HomePod was some of the other ones. I know Volume Up is one that they do. It's a little funny because the playlist itself, like this is saying that it's the best one, but if you go look on my thing, it was actually a different one. That was the one that gave me the best amount of streams. In total, here, I'm gonna add this up real quick. So about 2,800 streams is about what I got. One thing I want to iterate in this, as we're talking about this, I just wanted to relook. Yeah, 3,000 to 10,000. So it actually probably was like quite a bit higher, because if you were to take the thing that you need to understand when it comes to these, and like I said, this song might not have been the most perfect example of this, but I just know from running ads as well in the past that really what happens is you're shooting for this. You're shooting for this big radio number. And this is from having built this up over time over the last 2 years. But also for the, wait one second, let me go to last 12 months on this song. You're looking for this and you're looking for this, right? The numbers that you get off of this then tell Spotify, hey, people actually like this song. And what happens is if you can get people to the song and then people listen through the duration of the song, then it pushes it out to radio. And then eventually, if you're high enough on and you meet the criteria, you can get it in discovery mode. And then on discovery mode, it pushes it out even further. And so like that's really the whole goal, right? They do offer a lot of other services, like I said previously, besides just the playlisting, right? They do offer playlist takeovers, which there's other people that talk about it on the internet, so I'm not going to talk about that right now. They are also a distribution company. They also do run individual ads for people. I know my rep wanted me to mention those things, and I've seen that, and I've seen it work for other people, and it's not people at small levels. Like they have worked with some heavy hitters. I'm not going to sit here and name drop, but I am friends with some of them. Or I know a few people that have used them in the past that are pretty established. So it's not like, I guess my whole point for this video is it's like, this is credible. Like, you know based on, the playlist ads and the save rates that it's real. Like you can see, I had some bump in playlist ads well after if the song was released. All of those are good indicators to me. Another thing I guess I wanted to say, I remember thinking this before, a little critique that I have is for the campaign, I guess I wish that it like told me when I purchased it in the order number. But I mean, it's like not the end of the world, but then you could kind of see, I know it shows me that it ends in a certain amount of time. But then I could have kind of seen when it was. Like I said, I just went and re-referenced, this email. It is what it is. I want to go to my closing thoughts. To me, this type of service is something that is good and it's reliable. Like you know what you're going to get from it. I will say, to me, it's a piece of the pie. It's not the only piece of the pie. I think for anybody that is serious within music, that is doing this as a career, not just a hobby. I know that gets thrown around a lot, but it is true. There's a business component to it, and to me, this is a piece of the puzzle. Advertising should be a portion of your monthly spend budget. Like this, to me, this goes without saying, but it's like some of the biggest companies in the world are the biggest companies in the world because they spend millions of dollars every month to re-put themselves in front of your face continually. And that it's no different with music. Now there's a variety of ways to do that, but this is a piece of the puzzle to me. You know, I'm not going to go through and tell you all of my secrets or what I think as far as all the ways that I use advertising, but to me it's like advertising in general is a good thing, especially if it's driving real people to your songs. And based on the analytics, you can tell that that's what this is. But let me know. Let me know in the comments. You can roast me if you want. I just feel like I did kind of want to get up and I'll say defend Boost a little bit. Like I said, this was a paid, they paid me to make this video. I wasn't getting rich off of it by any stretch, but I had real conversations with them to like understand what their team is and what they're doing and what they offer. And to say they're a scam, which I've seen a lot on the internet, to me is disingenuous. Like, I think that there's like this like common narrative on the internet that anything that isn't exactly the way that you want it to be when it comes to music promotion is automatically a scam. And it's like, it's just not what it is. Like, first of all, the majority of people that are saying that think they're Justin Bieber and they aren't. You know, and sometimes like me included, like it takes a while to get into the game, to gain thick skin, to realize what works and what doesn't. And it's also like sometimes it's just the song. Like sometimes like if the song isn't good, it's not gonna move. And like you can't blame a company that's offering a service for that. So like to me it's like this is a service. They provide what they're going. They provide what they say they're going to, and you can't be mad at that. At the end of the day, it's like in business, you know, you can only rely on a few things, and your word is one of them. So, yeah, would I use this again? I definitely would. Like I said, they do offer other services, so I think like that should be put into consideration. I had a positive experience. I think that you should check them out. So I'm going to leave a link to all the stuff in the description. And for now, that's it for this video. Thanks for coming. Jake Luke, I'm out. Peace.